Kudos Manager Pantheon. I do want to do an all managers speedrun at some point, but doing an all manager speedrun is something I really want to do, or at least all like base game managers, right? Like no event managers or whatnot. But the 8 street managers, the 8 kudos managers, the 6 task line managers, as well as the facility manager, the 4 facility managers, and the Oklo. I think that's all that's involved. I really want to do it because I think it's cool. It's a cool concept. I don't know. Is there a category? Alright, I'm going on speedrun.com real quick, actually. Toontown Speedrunning has always had a really bad presence on speedrun.com. I'm more interested in doing it as a challenge run first than a speedrun. Like, we're taking a Hollow Knight perk to friggin' theorize a Toontown speedrun that's like never gonna actually get done. Yeah, you would want to do the really reset heavy ones. Obviously, this is just standard speedrun practice. Chip first is really because it's really bad. Got it. I still know nothing about Chainsaw Consultant Fight, but I will take your word for it. I would feel like you'd want to put Oklo on the front end as well because it's I feel like it would suck. Depending on what the rules would be, if you would have to do it as a 4. Oh, you would have to do it as 4. Because you need to fight all 4 managers. So, you would have to do it as a 4. Yeah, Oklo early is a good idea then. Because 4-man Oklo sounds awful. You'd have to finish the whole Oklo, I would think. Well, because you don't get credit for anything until you finish the whole Oklo, right? I would say it ends on your last dance, whichever you do last. Because that's when you would actually get drops and whatnot. Well, I think... is 4-man Oklo consistent? I've never seen a 4-man Oklo post-Unite change. Like getting rid of gag up unites. So if it's consistent, just long and hard, then you wouldn't have to put it early. But I feel like a 4-man would. Oh, first round is for sure consistent, and I think last round is consistent if you're good. It would just be the manager round that I think would suck. You don't think 4-man Oklo is consistent? Yeah, that's what my vibe. That's the vibe I was feeling. I mean, manager is always the least consistent round. Yeah. Oh, you're going back to editing. All right, see ya, Apex. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I mean, I've also done one Oklo as well, but you have to 4-man it, right? So you can fight all 4 of them. That's what makes it hard. I guess theoretically you could make a rule that you could do 2 8-mans. You just have to as long as you face all 4 of them, it's fine, and you just get it in like 2 8-mans, and you just do that instantly. But that sounds miserable. That sounds actually so dumb. I would not want to do that. So, yeah, looking back on this, all of the 8-man Oklo discussion just seems really dumb and doesn't fit the spirit of the challenge. So moving forward, my stance is going to be you have to 4-man the Oklo and make sure that you fight all 4 members of the litigation team. There was a few other bits of 8-man Oklo strat discussion, but I'm going to be cutting those out of this video. If you want to go check them out, the full stream is always linked in the description. As my position as the mod of a different Toontown board on speedrun.com, I would personally make the rules that you have to 4-man it. And I think that's the point of the category, is that you're fighting all, oh gosh, I forgot the number, 30-something managers? So I would personally make the rule that you have to 4-man it. Obviously, I am not on the Clash board, so I cannot be the one to make that decision. If it becomes an actual category, that is. That's my 2 cents. I'm sure someone's done it before, but I don't know. It just feels like something that would be cool. How long do you think it would take? I think it would be pretty long. Because the hardest part about it is you need to do a 4-person Oklo, which would suck and would be long and is not consistent in current patch. The rest of it probably wouldn't be too bad. I mean, you'd have to do a Chainsaw Consultant and a pace and whatnot, right? And like, there's obviously chances or opportunities to mess up. You're allowing a 5th dude, who cares? You need to do. I mean, from what I'm theorizing, right? As I said before, obviously, if this did become an actual speedrun category, it would be up to the Clash mods to decide. But from my expertise as mod of a Toontown speedrunning board, I would personally make the rules you have to do it 4-person. But I'm more thinking about it as a challenge run first and a speedrun second. I would be interested to see if people have done it before. I'm sure someone must have done it, right? Like, this isn't an original thought by any means. I haven't necessarily seen a run of it, but I'm sure someone's done it. Especially since, like, besides the 4-person Oklo, you don't have to do any of the other fights in a weird way, you know? Like, you can just do them normally. Like, obviously, you can change up your gag loadouts or whatever between fights, like, get restocked, whatever. You just have to beat them all, like, and you can lose as well. Like, I'm not saying you have to beat them all without dying. You just have to beat them all in, like, one session. I guess not even in one session. Theoretically, if we want to make it a challenge run, not a speed run, you can do it time attack rules, in that you can pause the timer or whatnot. I guess that's what turns it from a challenge run to a speed run, right? Is doing it in one setting. Did Megastoop do 16? Oh, because there's more stuff besides Oklo. Because it's Oklo, task line managers as well. Which task line managers is basically just to tack on there, just to add to the number. Director's fight is a little annoying, but I mean, you just use a few IOUs. Director fight is easy. He did the 16. He did the base 16. He did the street managers and the kudos managers. But yeah, it would be that plus Oklo plus task line managers plus facility managers. It's what Megasnoop did, plus you got to run one of each of the facilities, which is literally also just padding. That is not challenging at all. You just run a factory mint, office, and a golf course. You gotta do the 4 task line fights, which is also really easy. It's just the Oklo is the part that makes it hard, right? And besides talking about, like, the feasibility and the consistency of the litigation team round in the Oklo, you do also just need 4 good gamers to do the final round. Like, you need people consistent in the last round. Because I would presume that round is not fun with 4 players. I've coming from someone with experience of doing one singular Oklo, I think we got to that round with 8. But then someone, like, 2 or 3 people died during the round. I don't remember it being too annoying. I would presume that fight with 4 is at least somewhat annoying. Especially if you aren't doing Oklo at the start. Yeah, with 4 sounds pretty bad. I don't think there's any other managers I'm forgetting. Oh, are the extra cogs in the plutocrat fight? Are those managers? I'm trying to remember if the other 4 in the plutocrat fight are managed, or not not other 4, but the other cogs in the plutocrat fight, because that would also put a wrench into it, because you do not face all of them every time you do plutocrat. Oh wait, no. I think you. Holy, it's been so long since I've done a plutocrat. Do you face them all? It's just not all at the same time. It's been so long since I've done a plutocrat. I genuinely don't remember. But, like, he has his goons, right? Like, I don't remember if you face all of them. I know you have to face, like, 3 of them, like, at the beginning or whatever, right? You don't think it's all of them? Okay. But you do think you do fight all of them. Okay. Well, you might fight all of them anyways, and this discussion is pointless. Oh, wait, actually! I just thought of something. You wouldn't have to fight you wouldn't have to do a factory, because don't you fight factory 4-mans in the multi-slacker fight? You do fight a 4-man? Okay. Well, then you wouldn't have to do a factory, so that's cool routing. It is different levels, but it's the same name, which is what I would say. Like, you fight a factory 4-man. Like, obviously it's not the same level one, but you fight a factory 4-man. I would say that counts. It says factory 4-man and it has manager in the name. It's factory 4-man level whatever .mgr. I think that counts as factory 4-man. I don't think there's any other cool cases like that where you can, unless you want to say like DOLD counts for DLLA, which I don't agree with. I think you should just have to do the 4 task line fights. But I guess that would mean you don't have to do a factory, which is fun. Oh, Mimi, I know you asked earlier about, like, would you allow a 5th toon for TPs? I think no. I said it doesn't matter at the time, but now I'm thinking about it. They would also be able to scout for street managers. So I don't know how I feel about that currently. I would have to think on that. Because scouting for I guess going back to the skill expression argument, scouting street managers is not an expression of skill, but it is an integral part of fighting a street manager. Like, if you want to fight a street manager in-game, you do have to find it. So, I don't know how I feel about that currently. I'd have to think on that. That doesn't matter in the context of it being a challenge run. That only matters in the context of it being a speed run. Which, obviously, it has to be a challenge run that exists before it can be a speed run, right? Well, since this video just kind of ended abruptly, I didn't talk about the manager's speedrun anymore on stream after this. I thought I'd sum up my thoughts real quick, give a couple extra things, and yeah, just wrap up the video. So, yeah, basically the point of the run is you gotta fight all 35 managers. That includes the 8 street managers, the 8 kudos managers, the 6 task line managers in their 4 fights respectively, the 4 facility managers, and the litigation team. All this needs to be done in a team of 4. I envision it being the same team of 4 the whole way throughout. But I guess theoretically you could not do that. I would want to. I want to see it like the same 4 all the way through the run. Since right now it's a challenge run, there isn't really a requirement for time, because there's no time to beat, right? But I think this would be cool as a speed run. I don't think it would get much play time, since Toontown speedrunning's kind of dead for the most part. But you know, I think there are ILs for each of the street and kudos managers on the Clash board on speedrun.com. So I have no idea if they have runs submitted to them. But you know, maybe there's a little bit of demand for it. For me personally, I really want to do this run at some point. However, right now I have 3 roadblocks. First off, I straight up can't do it, because I don't have Chainsaw Consultant or Witch Hunter unlocked yet. But I'm pretty close on both those. I think I'm like rank 6 in one and rank 8 in the other. So I'm pretty close. The second roadblock is I want and kind of need more practice in the Oklo. I've only done 1. I'm not even Bigwig 50 yet. I'm like Bigwig 42. So I would want to do some more Oklos so I'm more practice, and especially a 4-person, because 4-person Oklo sounds awful. And as well, I would need 3 people to do the run with. Yeah, I don't know. But if you want to attempt the run, but I do really want to do it at some point in the future. I don't really care if I'm first, whatever. Who cares? Obviously, this isn't an original idea. This is just my take on the idea. Coming from someone who really likes speedrunning and is a fan of theory crafting and just thinking out rules for something like this. If you want to attempt it, by all means, feel free. You don't need to credit me in any way. I would like to know if you've done it, so you know, let me know you do it. I'll watch your run, give my thoughts on it. I think that'd be cool to see. But yeah, that's kind of all. Thank you so much for watching. I've got a few bloopers from the other part that I recorded, so if you want to check those out. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. It just is really dumb. Doesn't really fit the rest of the challenge. Did I just get a Steam notification? Fight all 4 members of the litigation team. And frick!